Greetings. For those of you who resisted taxes for the first time in 2024, you may be getting a letter right now from the IRS, especially if you filed. I'm making this video because quite a few folks have emailed or called who filed earlier in the season, resisted some or all their federal income taxes, and now have received a letter from the IRS. So normally this letter is known as a CP14 letter. If you want to verify that's what you received, in the upper right hand corner it always gives some letters and numbers that refer to the type of letter that you are receiving. So typically the first letter you will receive, and which people are receiving now, is CP14. And this is the first notice that you have a tax debt. And so there'll be also an explanation of possible interest and penalties, and this can seem very intimidating. But just a reminder that all of that essentially means that at the end of 10 years, when the statute of limitations would expire, that your tax debt, your initial tax debt, will double. So if this tax season you resisted $100, after 10 years it'll be around $200. If you resisted $4,000 in about 10 years before the debt would expire, it'd be around $8,000. So, but again, this letter, it'll have a due date, but the due date is really not necessary. You're already past the due date. The real due date was April 15th. They put an additional due date because it kind of psychologically tells you, oh, I'm supposed to be paying by this date, but you're already past. This is just a reminder letting you know that you didn't pay. It's possible that a couple of months after receiving this letter, you might receive what they call CP503. This is essentially the same as the first letter, except it's a second reminder. Then at some future point, maybe 6 months, maybe a year from now, you may receive what they call CP504, Notice of Intent to Levy. So this is a letter that'll say, and it usually comes certified mail. I usually have to sign for it. This letter they're stepping it up a little bit, but all these are automated letters. No one's really looking into your case. But CP504, Notice of Intent to Levy, will state that after 30 days of receiving this notice, they may garnish wages, levy bank accounts, investment accounts, seize assets. Essentially, this is a letter that they need to send if they want to do any of that in the future. It's very unlikely they do anything with it, just after the 30-day mark. They may do something in the next 6 months to a year. They may do something in 5 years. They may do something right before the 10 years expires, or they may never do anything. But everyone who refuses to pay and files will eventually receive CP504, Notice of Intent to Levy. Just wanted, with people getting letters, wanted to go over the basics of this, and I hope this is helpful, and I'll put a link in the description that goes a bit more in depth into these letters.